It is week 17 in the National Football League, and you're watching Picks with David. Thanks for joining me for another edition right here on YouTube and Facebook. And we've got 5 games that we're going to review, starting with tonight's Saturday Night Spectacular. It's Playoff Central all throughout the weekend as the push for positioning in the NFL playoffs starts tonight. So let's begin with game number 1. The NFC North champions, the Detroit Lions at 11-4, take on the 10-5 Dallas Cowboys. Detroit is still in play for the number 1 seed in the NFC, and they go to the Cowboys, who play exceptionally well at home, but are not really good against what I would call good teams this year. Now, while their defense can be stellar and their offense outstanding, I think the Cowboys, when you look at them, their history shows that they are not going to perform well in the playoffs. They can never seem to get over the hump. Detroit is in the playoffs. Dallas is in the playoffs. And this could be, at one point in time, a playoff preview. The difference being Dallas will probably have to play at Detroit. But the Detroit Lions come into town. They're riding high because they just won their division. They're looking to try and secure that number 1 seed, but they're going to need help from other teams to lose in order for that to happen. So they really need this victory. Dallas needs to win and hope that the Philadelphia Eagles lose so that they can get back into the lead in their division and also be in position for the number 1 seed in the NFC. And so now at this particular time, these two teams come together. It's a clash of really great offenses. The defense for Dallas is much better than Detroit. Detroit has done some good things on defense this year, but I think that with Dallas playing at home, I'll take the Cowboys on Saturday night. A look at the playoff picture in the AFC. You've got the Baltimore Ravens at 12-3, the Miami Dolphins at 11-4. And wouldn't you know it, they clash this week. It's the Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is riding high, coming in off a win over number 1 seed, the San Francisco 49ers of the NFC, and they did it on the road. I think Lamar Jackson has locked up the MVP right now in the NFL, but they've got one more big obstacle here to overcome. If they can beat the Miami Dolphins, the Baltimore Ravens will secure the number 1 seed in the American Football Conference. The Dolphins have a spectacular offense. They've struggled against teams with winning records, but they are a good matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Last couple of years, they have faced off, and the games have been extremely tight. I like Miami to have a lot of success in this game, but I think the Baltimore Ravens get that number 1 seed in the AFC as they beat the Dolphins on Sunday. Here's a look at the NFC playoff picture. We've talked about the 49ers currently having the number 1 seed in the NFC, and we've talked about Detroit and Dallas and their big matchup. But right now, the game we're going to talk about is the 8-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're going to be hosting the 7-8 New Orleans Saints. Tampa is looking to secure the division with a victory against the New Orleans Saints here. The Saints, still trying to get into the playoffs, need a victory over Tampa, and they need Atlanta to lose the next couple of games, and they need Tampa to possibly lose next week. So everything rides really on this game for the New Orleans Saints. They still have an opportunity to get in. I thought they would be a much better team this year, but Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done just enough to get the lead in their division, but I think that New Orleans, knowing that they must get this game, I think this is a playoff game here. The Saints always perform well defensively against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know it's in Tampa, but I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints to win the game against the Buccaneers on Sunday. Back to the AFC playoff picture, the Kansas City Chiefs are 9-6 and can win their 8th consecutive AFC West Championship division crown. But they're going to have to do it against Cincinnati, who at 8-7 is doing everything they can to get back into the playoff picture, and with a victory, might be able to secure the bottom seed in the wild card. So this matchup really is big for both teams. Kansas City has struggled over the last several weeks offensively. They've been struggling almost all year, but they have one of the best defenses in the NFL this season. If the receivers can catch the ball and Patrick Mahomes and his group do not turn the ball over, I think they got a really good, strong chance against the Cincinnati Bengals team that has been playing very well with their backup quarterback, Jake Browning, at the helm. Now, they've got some great playmakers on Cincinnati, but a couple of them are dinged and injured. The offensive line has been porous as of late for Cincinnati. That doesn't bode well against this really good Kansas City defense. I think the Chiefs get back on track, and I'll take the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday against Cincinnati. Sunday Night Football is the last stand for the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings and their opportunity to get in the playoffs. Both teams are 7-8 and are desperately in need of a win and help in the NFC playoff picture. Jordan Love has been having a decent first season as a starter. He's got a lot of playmakers on his team, a lot of really good young wide receivers. And the running game has been steady, whether it's been Aaron Jones, who's been hurt for most of the year, or A.J. Dillon. On the other side, the Minnesota Vikings have gone through a whirlwind of quarterbacks since Kirk Cousins got injured earlier in the year. It looks like now they're going to turn to Jaron Hall at quarterback, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to get the win on Sunday Night Football. Well, there you have it. Week 17 Picks with David. Thanks for joining me for another edition. Be sure to check out me and Christopher Serra Jr. Tuesday night on NFL Renegades on Facebook with the 4th and Goal Sports podcast. We'll review Week 17 in the NFL and preview the final week of the season as we head into the playoffs. And catch me again next week as I get ready and make my picks for the final week of the season right here. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.